Welcome back to Tammy's Cinnamon Stitches. This is a podcast mainly dedicated to cross stitching. However, I do dabble in many other crafts. They are all packed away, so today I won't have anything else to show you. However, I thought towards the end of the video I would just talk about our travel plans to Canada and any sort of life updates instead. So I hope that's okay. But yeah, if you're interested, feel free to stay around to listen to those. Some of you guys have been so sweet and reached out and asked, how it's all going. It's going really well, but yeah, more about that towards the end of the video. I'm really sorry about the camera today. I am trying my hardest to figure out how to do this in a way where you can see the stitching and it's far enough back. My computer is being a noob. And so is my phone. So it's going to be challenging. I think I'm going to just turn the camera the other way, and that way you guys can see my stitching. That's what you're here for, not to see my face. So hopefully it won't bother you guys too much. I'm really sorry. Excuse the mess behind. Hubby is still going through all these stuff. So we still have boxes and all these things. Look at that. Messy. It's terrible. He broke his chair the other day. That was hilarious. I don't know how, but anyway. Okay, sidetracked. One more thing. I wanted to give a big shout out to my nieces. Hi Lucy, Heidi and Sky. Apparently they've been watching, which is so cute. So so hello. Anyways, we will get started. Actually, sorry, before we get started, there's just one more thing I need to mention as well. I don't have every project here with me today. Some of the stuff has been packed away, so I'm only keeping out like the ones that I'm really keen to work on. The rest are sort of put in the suitcase all the way at the bottom. So Robbie the robot, the moth and my birthday start, they're packed away because I hardly work on them. So I'm really sorry if you were keen to see the progress on them, but they won't be showing today. The other one also is Lady of the Mist. She's actually been put away into a box, so we won't get her probably until the year after. She's going fine. She's looking beautiful. Stitching wise, all good. There was just a bit of a sad situation when I was stitching on her, and I've found it hard to continue stitching on her at the moment. I can talk more about that in the life update if you're curious, but yeah, she's okay. I just need a bit of a break from looking at her. I think that was all that I needed to mention. Yeah, so today we've got 2 finishes, and I've got 1 whip and 2 new starts. So I'm really excited to get started on those. I think that was all I needed to mention. So I will turn the camera around now so you can see my desk, which, don't judge too harshly, is extremely messy. It's got like paint splatters all over it. But yeah, and we will get started on that. I will hopefully be able to leave a big enough gap on the other side of the desk so that I can put any photos in that we need to, so that you can see the progress or the patterns or whatnot. But yeah, we'll get started. Alrighty, so I hope this camera is going to work okay. You should be able to hopefully see see everything. Alright, so the first one I have to show you is a finish. It is Cactus Cat by Jody Rice. Satsuma Street, I think is how you say it. I started this one in March. It is stitched on a 28 count Zyg White Brittany Glittery Even Weave Butterscotch from Crafty Bit Dye Works, which I think I mentioned her in my last video. So in my last one, actually, I would hopefully have put a picture up of my progress. But yeah, here it is all done here. Oh, good. I think you can hopefully see that glitter okay. But yeah, it looks so cute. I absolutely love this piece. It is so just bright and happy and colorful. But yeah, I really like it, and I really like the pattern work on all these different pots, like this circle one, and then this one over here, and like having them all like individually patterned is pretty cool. But yeah, I did everything as called for. I don't think I changed anything, but I did put my initials up here in the sun or whatever this beautiful colorful thing is supposed to be. But yeah, and everything else is as called for. But she looks absolutely gorgeous, and on this yellowy glittery fabric, it looks so pretty. But yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna fully finish this one. I'm thinking I might kind of give it a bit of a soft finish maybe, or even turn it into a bag possibly. I know I don't want to frame it, but I don't plan to do any fully finishing until we're in Canada, because it's easier to pack when it's just flat. Yeah, I don't think anything else I really need to mention that one, except I really like it. It's so bright and colorful, so pretty, and I love purples on yellow. I think they're such a good combination. Cool. All right, we'll move on to the next one. All right, so the next one is the Happy Anniversary by this beautiful French name here. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. This is the one that I decided I wanted to do a watercolor dye on the fabric. So the fabric I had brought was a Belfast linen 32 count, but it was just pure white. And so I decided I would give it a bit of a different color by dyeing it with just watercolor pencils. I'm not pencils, just watercolor paint. And yeah, it turned out pretty well. I'll actually insert a picture here of the fabric after that it's, once it's being painted. So I decided to go with just a grey background and a bit of green at the bottom with white patches to imitate snow. I was thinking of doing like a sunset, but I thought because the pattern itself is quite busy with all those beautiful love hearts everywhere, it would become too busy and too just hard to look at. Too much going on. So I decided to just keep it with like a grey marbly sort of effect, so it kind of looked like a wintry sky. There's several things that I changed on this piece, but I will show you what it looks like at the end. When it's all completed. So here it is here. Hopefully I can get all in the frame. There we go. Yeah, so I really liked how this one turned out. As I think I mentioned in my last video, hubby wanted me to do these love hearts in blue. So that was the whole inspiration to the wintry theme on this one. As you can see, it is quite different from the original. So we're going to try and play a little bit of spot the difference with this one. Just because there were several things that I changed. So I'm going to zoom out the camera and move this piece along a little bit, so that I can insert a picture of the original, so that we can kind of see how it turns out. There you go. I think that'll be enough room. Cool. So starting here in the tree, the only thing that I really changed in the tree was the color of the hearts, obviously, and I also lengthened the tree. So the original pattern had the lamppost and the tree further up, so it looked like the chair was, further down in the pattern. So in order to keep this green straight, and so that these trees and this lamppost weren't floating in the middle of nowhere, I decided to just put them in the same length as where the chair was, and I just lengthened up the sides. So the tree's just got a few extra rows in it, basically. Moving on to the cute little bird sitting in the little swing. I think the birds were called for in a white, as well as the chair. I decided to keep them cream just so that they could help stand out in the piece a little bit more. So that's in a cream, and also the rope that's holding the birds, I did that in a grey just to help it stand out a little bit more. And then I kept this heart and obviously these hearts and these hearts in the red, which just to sort of balance out the blue a little bit, because otherwise I think it would have looked too blue and washed out. But still moving on, the chair is as called for, the people are as called for, except in the hat of the girl and the bows, I think they were supposed to have white dots, and I just changed them to pinks just to help them stand out a little bit more. I think that was it for them. Moving on to the light post, again, I just lengthened it up a little bit just so that this would still be sitting in the right spot, basically. I also put the date and the month in this heart, and I put my initials in this one too. I don't know if you can see it from this distance, but my initials are in there as well. Sorry about that. My camera did something weird, so I thought I'd better restart. Where were we? Lamppost, that's right. So in the lamppost, it called for just having white sort of stripes. Here I decided to put a little bit of a yellow circle and then did it in a lighter yellow stripes just to kind of give that glowy sort of effect. The happy anniversary, I did all in one color. I think in the pattern it has the H and the A in a red. I decided not to worry about that. Instead, I did a yellow just to sort of make it more obvious than a cream or white, but not so obvious that it kind of took away from this little cute scene. Oh, and then at the very end, I put a whole bunch of white French knots everywhere to kind of look like snow. So I don't think you can see it from this distance. So I'm just going to pick it up and zoom up, and hopefully you can see that. So there's a whole bunch of, little white French knots everywhere just to kind of look like snow. I thought that would just kind of be like a cute little feature. And because it's white, it's not so obvious that you think it's too busy. But yeah, I really liked how this one turned out. It's really cute. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to fully finish it though. Because it's watercolor dyed, obviously I can't wash it, or I can't, put it in the sun or anything, otherwise the color will fade. So I'm thinking of maybe just sticking it as a, excuse me, just as a pillow that I bring out during our anniversary, maybe, just to stick on the bed just for a little while. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a tickle in my throat then. Trying to steal my voice away. Yeah, so I think this one's really, really cute. If there was any complications, the only thing that I am always worried about is obviously the cream and the birds and the chair don't stand out too obviously, but I kind of like how they're also a little bit faded, because then it also means that you have to kind of look for it, and I like it when the pattern kind of draws you in. But yeah, super cute. Cool. So that's all of it for my fully finishes. Now onto the whips. I've only, as I mentioned before, only have one whip out that I'm currently working on. The rest are packed away. And that is the Alice in Wonderland by Al Forest Embroidery. Cool. So I started this one on the 11th of February, as most of you all know. It is on 32 count barnwood linen by Picture This Plus. I will insert a picture here of my progress from last time. I haven't done too much on this piece. I've mainly been focusing on those finishes, so I haven't really done a lot, but I will show you what I've done so far. Cool, so here it is here. So I think last time I just had the pot finished, so I've gone up and done the rose, and I've sort of done a few little red love hearts here, but mainly just this rose, and I've done this white rose and pot as well. And I've also started the green on this side, but I think that's all I've done. So not a lot, definitely not as much as I would have liked to have done. I think I'd hoped I would complete this whole sort of middle section, and that way I can start on the outside stuff, which I was really excited to get into, but yeah, I just haven't had time. Unfortunately, the camera is making this fabric look quite grey again. It's a lot more purplish, mauvey sort of colour. It's still looking really cool though, and I really like how the purples and the reds stand out on it. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to really talk about this one, except that it needs more work. Because I want to start the, oh, I've forgotten what it's called. Wizard of Oz, that's right, the Wizard of Oz one soon as well. I've got kind of another darky, marbly, greeny fabric, which I think will look really cool on that. But yeah, so that's all I've done on this one. Not very much, but it's still turning out pretty cool. I can't wait to get this middle section done so that I can really start on those other ones. And then I think because those colors are a lot more brighter, they'll help this whole thing to stand out a little bit more, because at the moment the green is dark. But I think I have mentioned that, you know, I am going for a darker theme just to make it look a little different and cool. Alrighty, so the last little few ones that I have to show you are my new starts, which I'm so excited to share with you all. I have mentioned several times about this one here, the Orton Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery. I kitted it up in my last couple of videos, and I kept saying that I'm going to start it soon, I'm going to start it soon. Well, I finally have started. I started right here in the middle, so at this little tiny house here. I think I've done the roof and this side panel, but that's it so far. So I haven't actually got any of the reds and oranges in yet. I wanted to try and get those colors in before I showed you, but yeah, I just haven't yet. But it's turning out really, really cute. My goal is to probably go this way and then up into this blue, so that, because this is such a solid blue, I want to start getting into it, and then that way, if when I get sick of it, I can then head down. Is the plan. So yeah, again, I'm stitching this one on the Pampas Cashel linen by Picture This Plus 28, and I'm using everything as called for, obviously except for the fabric change. But yeah, here it is here. So there's my little start. Yeah, it's turning out quite cute. I can't wait to get all the yellows and the reds in there. I think it'll be really cute. Unfortunately, this the camera really picks up the marble in this fabric. It's not actually that deep of marble. Maybe if I zoom up, maybe it will help clear it out a little bit. And it's a little bit more yellow. I think I mentioned that before, but yeah, the in the house, this one here is one of the I think it's some sort of silk. Hang on, just give me a minute. Wheat dye works, that's what it was again. The Wheat's dye works. It's this color here. Is in the one that's in the roof, and it's like this variegated browny black, which is really, really pretty. And that one's starting to see, you can see it in real life. I'm not sure if the camera is picking up the variegation very well, but yeah, it's turning out really cute. I'm so excited to get this one started. I was like, finally, because I've been talking about it for so long. Yeah, that's cool. That one I'm doing everything as called for. Sorry, I think I mentioned that already. The other one that I'm really, really excited to talk to you about, I have to go grab because I didn't grab everything. So just wait 2 seconds. Okay, so this one here I'm so excited to share with you guys and to really get a lot of progress done on it. I was inspired to do this one by Kelly from Pages 3 Stitches, I'm pretty sure. I'll write it on the screen. She's really cool. If you haven't watched any of her videos, she's probably one of my main and favorite ones that I like to watch. She does a lot of different range of stuff, and she's started this. I can't quite remember how long ago she started it, but she's doing it on like this purpley fabric with these different range colors of different purple. She's doing it on this purple fabric, and it's got like a range of different different colored purples and creams I think she's put into it, but it looks so stunning. And I remember looking at it going, oh my gosh, I must stitch that. So Kelly, this is all your fault. But I'm embracing the chaos, as she said, and I'm going to try it anyway. I don't know how long I'll get through it, but because it is huge. It's such a huge piece, but it's really cool. So the piece I'm talking about is this one here that you can see in front of you. It is the Pointed Fifth by Long Dog Samplers. This one is all just sharded, all is in one color, which is black or brown or whatever you want, whatever color you want. But I decided to do mine in a few different colors. So the fabric I have chosen is a navy blue Lugana. It is so nice. I'll just quickly show you briefly what the color of the fabric is. But look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? And it's so buttery to work with. The Lugana is so nice. I think it's a 28 count. I'm pretty sure it's a 28 count. But yeah, it's going really well. I started here. So at the very bottom with the little cute octopus, because I don't know why, but I really wanted to stitch the octopus. So I started here, and I've completed the octopus and a little bit down here, and I think I've done a little bit on this side as well. So I'm planning to sort of stitch across this way, and then move up to the next section and go across and across like that. I'm pretty sure. But as I was stitching it, I decided to put a little bit of Krynic in it, and which is either a really silly thing to do or a really smart thing to do, given how annoying Krynic is to use and how big this pattern is. It's going to use a lot of Krynic. But anyways, we'll see how we go. Oh, actually, before I'll show you now. So this is how much I have done so far. Let's see if I can get in there as much as I can. I'm gonna move some stuff out of the way. Sorry, I'm bumping you, I know. I apologize. But yeah, there we go. So I've got into the octopus, as you can see here. And I've gotten a little bit done more on the blue. So these are the colors that I've chosen to use. These two main blues will be sort of like the main colors of the piece. And then the green and the yellow will be sort of kind of into those windows. Hang on, let me see if I can explain this a little bit better. So so these two blues will kind of be like along all the outside of the piece. And then inside these windows, I plan to use the yellow and the green. And then the ruby red will be kind of spread out sort of sparingly throughout the piece. But yeah, so that's what I've done so far. I absolutely love how the blues are turning out on this fabric. I think it looks gorgeous, and it's so satisfying to look at. Because the Lugana is so, such a nice even weave. The crosses are coming out so even and perfect, and I just love it. The Krynic, which you could probably see in the camera, is sort of outlining the octopus. Yeah. And I plan to put a few little beads. So the octopus has some stitches in here for eyes. Instead of stitching it, I plan to put in a couple of beads, and I'm going to put beads kind of spread out throughout the whole thing, I think. So, but this is the Krynic that I'm using. I think it's called Confetti Blue. It was a leftover piece that I had from my mermaid, if you remember me talking about it. But it's this really pretty one where it's like a light blue, it's got gold and silver bits kind of spread out throughout it. Yeah, but it's super pretty. So I plan to use that one just for little bits everywhere. I'm thinking kind of like outlining each of these little little creatures, and then in here I'm thinking of just outlining the whole window in the Krynic along these windows, and then again in here we'll be outlining these people. So it's not going to be a lot of Krynic, but I think, I don't know, it'll just add that little bit of sparkle, I think, to it. And then I've got some beads. So I'm thinking of using that bead. So not the S, ignore the S. 03049, I think it's just a Millhill bead. So it's like a Christmas red, I think it was called. And then I'm using the 2011, which is the antique gold Millhill beads as well. So I'm going to be putting those out sparingly. I think for the octopus, I'm going to use the red ones as the red eyes. And then as we go through, like for the peacock, I think this is a peacock, I'll put like a couple of beads in there and a bead in the eye for this one, a bead in the middle, a bead in the owl eye maybe, a bead here, a bead in the duck eyes, etc. And then along here, so sorry, I'm probably not doing a very good job of holding this for you, but along here I plan to put beads in these little gaps here, like the gold beads along these columns, and then again up the top here I'll be putting the red beads kind of sparingly around as well. Well, that's my plan. I feel like with a piece like this, you kind of have to make it up as you go, just because of how much detail work it is, and you don't want to take up like the colors. You kind of have to be a bit careful with where you place them so that it sort of stands out. But yeah, that's what I've done so far, and I'm absolutely loving it, having so much fun. And yeah, I think it looks really, really cool on this fabric. Those colors are popping as nice as I hoped they would. Yeah, anyway, I'll pause the video and pack this one up. Okay, so I hope that camera work was okay. I'm really sorry that it's, yeah, I don't have very good equipment. Let's put it plainly. So I'm having to hold the camera, and it's, yeah, not really ideal. Anyways, we're going to talk about life updates and travel plans now. So if you are interested in listening to any of that, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time, which may or may not be in Canada. I'm hoping to get at least one more video in before we leave. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful couple of months, or a month. Hopefully I won't be so long in filming next time. Things, as you can imagine, are just being chaotic. Okay, for those of you who are interested in my travel plans, they are going really, really well. Thank you so much for all those who have reached out and asked, you know, how we're going, if we need any help. It's been so... It's felt so good to know that there's people out there who are going to help. I mean, hubby and I don't know anyone in Canada. We don't have any family or friends over there, so it's a bit daunting. But it's so nice to know that if I need any help, I can reach out to you guys. I really appreciate it. So we've booked our plane tickets. We leave on the 28th of August. In the afternoon here. So I think we leave at 1:30 in the afternoon on the 28th, and then we arrive at 6:20 in the morning in Canada, in Toronto. So our flight, we first go to Melbourne, and then we go from Melbourne to Los Angeles, and then Los Angeles to Toronto. But yeah, so we're staying in Toronto. I don't think I mentioned that last time. Hubby got offered a job there, which he's applied to and accepted, and everything's going through. So he starts a couple of weeks after we arrive at the company there. So that's really exciting to know that, you know, we've already got work pretty much sorted. Yeah, so we have booked accommodation. We're staying at this beautiful little apartment / basement thing at this lovely lady's house. She's got a whole, you know, basement area with a private access, all with fully furnished big living area. So we're planning to go straight into that, which is awesome. It was almost like it was meant to be, because she only made it available the day that we arrived. So we're like, it's the, you know, it's meant to be. And it's really close to shops and a park and just public transport, so it's ideal for us. Yeah, other than that, there's not really much to tell you. Just that everything's going really well. We're going to be keeping a few boxes of stuff at my mum's house, which we're going to get shipped over in a little while later. So we're going to be living out of a suitcase for probably 6 to 8 months maybe, which is fine. We both live pretty light. As long as I've got my craft, I'm happy, and as long as Hubby's got his laptop, he's happy. So yeah, what else to tell you? We're just so excited. It's scary because it's such a big move, but we're more excited than scared. We're both fairly organized people, so we've been organizing and researching everything to the point of probably overkill. So I'm like, okay, but what happens if this scenario happens? Do we have this available? But yeah, no, it's going really, really well. Yeah, I don't really know what else to mention. I got my first suitcase for the first time. Like, I know that sounds weird, but I don't think I've ever owned a suitcase before. The last time I traveled, I had a duffel bag that was held together with duct tape. Yeah, pretty bad. But anyway, we brought suitcases the other day, and it was so exciting. I was like, oh my gosh, it's my first suitcase. It was so pretty. And hubby got me the matching travel bag with it as well. So when I go on stitching retreats, I can take the little carry-on bag and stuff. So that was really exciting to get. Yeah, I don't really know what else to tell you, except that it's going really well, and I'm really excited. We haven't got long. It's what is the date today? It's the 7th of June today. So we've only got, less than 3 months before we fly out. So that's really exciting. Yeah. I'm so excited to go on a stitching retreat and meet you all. I think that's what I'm more excited for than anything else. Hubby's really excited for the winter and the snow. At the moment, it's our winter has started here in Perth, and it is freezing. And I'm like, this is like the max temperature. Like, our lowest is like the max temperature over there, and I'm just like, I'm gonna die. No, I'll be fine. But yeah, it's gonna be a change, a big change in a lot of ways. But we're really, really excited to do it. I mean, every time we speak to someone, they all say, what a great opportunity. I mean, you guys are both young and you don't have any kids yet, and you have the financial means to do such a trip that you should grab onto it. And so we're like, okay, we're grabbing on. We'll see how we go. The contract that we're on is for 2 years. So after 2 years, we've already started the process of what's it called? Oh, it's completely slipped my name. Not citizenship, but permanent residency. That's the one. We've already started the process with that. The lawyers that are part of my husband's company, they've already started that and have helped us through that. So, which has really been great. So we've already started that and already in the pool. So we just have to wait. I think after a year's time, we get so many points or something or other that will add to it as well. So yeah, it's a big change, but we're so excited for it. Yeah. All right, so just very quickly on some life updates. Besides being a little bit stressed about the move, everything's been going pretty good. in regards mainly to the Lady of the Mist, the reason why she is being put aside and I haven't really been working on her is mainly because I don't actually think I've mentioned what I do for work to you guys, or maybe I have, maybe in my first video. Anyways, I am a at-home carer or support worker, and for the last 4 years I've been working with quadriplegics, so spinal cord injuries. Most of my clients have little to no movement from the neck down. So anyway, I've been working with this one particular client since his accident, since he broke his neck, and it's been really, the last couple of months were really tough because we started him on palliative care. So he wasn't traveling too well last month, and I was working with him, and often during my shift he will fall asleep and snooze away, and so that's when I would bring my stitching and I'd just sit next to him and stitch until he woke up. Was mainly what I did for a while, just because of how unwell he was, unfortunately. And towards the end it got really hard, and we knew that his time was coming to an end, and I still brought her along to stitch, and unfortunately, as I was working on her, he did pass away, and it hit me a lot harder than I thought it would. I mean, I've been caring for people for many years, and I've had many pracs at hospitals. I've been around people, dying and passing on, and so death wasn't a new thing to me, and it hasn't been a new thing. But working with this client, he was just a really nice guy, and it was really hard to see him in those final days. And so every time that I picked her up now, I end up getting a little bit teary and getting quite emotional. So hopefully I won't get emotional while talking. I'm trying to hold back the tears, but yeah, so I thought that, I'll put her away in a box, and she will be kept safely in there at my mum's house, and then shipped over, and hopefully after a year's time I'll be able to work on her and complete her. The client, he also had a lovely wife, and she would often come in and see me stitching, and we talk about stitching, as she loved crafting herself. And so I would love to finish her, actually, and even send it over to her as a farewell sort of gift, because they were such a beautiful family. And yeah, it was just a sad situation. And I've heard a few people on FLOSSTUBE, say that they hold, when with our stitching, it's not just, it's a piece that we stitch and we hang up on the wall, that, we have a lot of memories and a lot of emotions attached to the piece. And I never really got that until this situation. And now I feel like I can understand. I mean, there is a lot of memory and a lot of emotion that is attached to the piece, and you don't really think of it until it happens. And yeah, so a bit of a sad story, and I didn't want to end on a sad story. I'm really sorry about that, but I just wanted to sort of explain why she's kind of being put aside. I mean, she looks fine, like there's nothing wrong with her at all, and I actually really like the way she's turning out on the fabric. It's just emotional wise, I think I just need to accept my grief and accept the grieving process. It's been strange. Like I don't think I've ever really grieved for anyone before, and so it affects us all differently. Yeah, anyway, well, enough about that. We'll get on to a different topic. Let's talk about something else for a little while before I say goodbye. end on a happy note. So what can I say? Oh, I watched Mario Bros the other day. I think it's been out for about a month here in Western Australia, but I finally watched it with hubby the other night, and oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's such a cute little story. I mean, I know that there's a lot of fans out there that are like, oh, it's, you know, not completely true to the game or whatnot, but it is a really cute family movie. We really enjoyed it, and Jack Black, as always, definitely shone through. We're fans of Black Jack. He's pretty funny. Yeah, so that was really cool to watch and see. And other than that, I think that's probably it. I will catch you guys hopefully in another month's time. I know my nieces are wanting to get into the movie. They're like, oh, can we do some craft on the movie? So I think we're gonna have a sleepover party soon, just to say, just to spend some time with them before we go. So maybe during the sleepover, we can videotape them doing a little bit of a craft, and I will stick it at the end of the next video. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me as always. I'm sorry I have no other FLOSSTUBE shout outs. I haven't really been watching anyone lately. I've just been, really flat out figuring out stuff. I mean, everything's kind of settling down now because we pretty much have got everything sorted, all the packing sorted. It's just kind of waiting, and then the last couple of weeks before we go, we'll be just cleaning out the house. So at the moment, things are slowed down, which hopefully means I can get lots of progress done on my new starts. I really love how they're turning out. Just super excited for that. So, anyways, I hope you have a wonderful month or a couple of weeks. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm sorry again for the camera work and the the confuffle, but I really appreciate you guys watching and spending time with me. As always, I love sharing my stitching stuff, and I love sharing with you guys, and yeah, anyways, I'll say goodbye before I keep ranting, so bye.